Okay, this is how, okay, I like telling people two things. Women. So when you're on your period, try not to get tattooed because you're so sensitive. Like you're hypersensitive. So
Okay, I won't go when I'm on my period then.
please. Please don't. You'll be crying. So women don't go get tattooed on your period day. Secondly, one side is a little bit more sensitive than another side. I can't say if it's left or right. All I tell them to do is like grab like a needle, I guess, and stab yourself.
How do you feel about doing portraits?
Oh my God, I love portraits. I do them all day. If I could do some for free, I'll do them because I want to do them. If I can do one every day, I would do one every day. Back then, we started with coils, and I have a small. I mean, I was skinnier then, so I have a small muñeca. So holding that machine hurt, you know. So then, and then the vibration. If I did it for 7 hours, I can feel the vibration going through my hands. Very artsy. Don't tell me this is your artwork.
Any side.
Really?
Yeah, whatever you want to say.
My best side is best side.
I offer you a drink. Someone sent me a fridge to put drinks in, but I literally have no drinks.
I was like, oh, I needed a shot. Yes, thank you. I didn't even think about it.
We can go to 7-Eleven if you want something.
Honestly?
If you do, we can. It's right here down the street. We'll just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, come on. This button, try not to touch it.
Okay, I did.
No. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
you can touch it, but if you push it down,
don't push it.
Yeah, it'll mute you. I've done that shit. I've done it before, and it fucking sucks. So you are, speak into yours.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
Say daddy.
Papi.
Papi, por favor.
Por favor.
Yeah, so you're good.
Okay.
Try to keep it like a fistful away. So like not that far. Yeah. Cool. And then obviously I got to keep checking equipment on my side. Like you don't have to worry about anything. Right? But like I got to check this and check that. So if I'm not looking at you,
you're looking at like the equipment?
Yeah, it's not that I'm trying to be rude or anything.
I don't find it rude at all.
Okay.
I just find it like some people I know that sometimes some people have problems with eye contact. I honestly, I think for so many years, I was really shy, so.
You were really shy?
I was super shy.
You're not shy anymore?
Yeah, I can be. But I think, so sometimes depending where I'm at, if it's like in my environment, I'm cool. I can talk to a person straight in the eye. But if I feel like I'm walking into someone else's environment, then I get a little shy. Sometimes I it's weird as it sounds. I've always been an introvert, but I guess in my late 20s is when I became a little bit more of an extrovert. I just blossomed, I guess.
In your late 20s?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't you like 22?
Yes, 22. Had my kids when I was 5.
You know what? I consider myself both, though.
Yeah.
Like an introvert
and
an extrovert. And we're talking about it right now. Like calm in a certain setting, but then I can bring it out if I need to.
Yeah. I think, I honestly, I think it depends also who I'm with.
Yeah.
Because there's certain people that I just get kind of extra shy with. But like I said, I can be in my own space and at work, and it become a little bit more comfortable because I feel like, okay, you're in my house, you know? But yeah, I was really shy when I was a kid. Like I would get nervous and like be at school, even presenting or reading out. Oh my God. I would shake, you know? I think a lot of people still do that, right? Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest fears, public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get nervous all the time. And I publicly speak all the fucking time.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's easier now, right?
No.
No. Okay.
No. It's easier for me when, like, if I'm the first to go on, or as soon as I speak, I get nervous.
Mm.
Like, or building up to it, I get nervous.
Mhm.
But if I speak and then someone else takes over for like a second, or I have an opportunity to maybe let someone ask me a question,
Mhm.
then I get comfortable. It's
Okay.
just that initial like part, that
Mhm.
build up.
Mhm.
Ah, dude, yes, my heart is racing.
Yeah.
It's racing, being in front of people. And I literally do it almost every week in front of so many people.
Yeah.
I saw this interview with Denzel Washington. He said he gets the same thing. He has the same problem.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fucking people who are famous, people who do that for a living,
You
people
would
who
think,
you would imagine like,
yeah.
and then it's like, oh, he gets nervous. Oh, fuck that. Then I'm normal.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Hey, but there's some people that are just they don't have that in there, and they're not wired like that. They'll just come out and be like nothing.
I'm gonna have my Red Bull.
Yeah, go for it.
Put it down a little bit.
My stomach is
yeah.
like growling a little bit.
There you go.
You want to hear it?
Hold on. Did you mute yourself?
What?
No, you didn't. No, it's because you grabbed it with two hands, and you might have.
Oh, did I put? No, did I
No.
push? No, I don't think so.
So thank you for coming. Thank you for making the drive.
I'm excited. I do drives like I work sometimes in Asperia.
Cheers.
Cheers. So I work in Asperia and I do the drive like nothing. Like I'll do one whole day and then I'll come back at night.
Wait,
and
what?
Work in Asperia?
You work in Hesperia sometimes, or you work?
No. I work maybe once a month. I try to do it once a month.
Okay.
But like last time, I think the owner of the shop had an event, and I think that was the last time I was out there. But honestly, that's you. I make better money out there.
Where's the shop in Hesperia at?
Off of Bear Valley Road.
Okay. My brother lives in Hesperia.
It's in front of a hospital.
Huh?
In front of a hospital? A hospital?
Oh, there is a hospital there off of Main though.
Mm-mm.
Main and I don't know what the other street is.
It's Bear Valley Road. So it's just exiting, make a right further in.
What's the name of the shop?
Inkfellas.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll set up appointments out there, and then
my friend promotes it. So he promotes it maybe like a few days or a week, depending on
that you're gonna do a guest spot or something like that.
Yeah, it's a guest spot, and then I have clients that are already out there, so usually I set them up or they message me, and then I start working. But there's times that I'm just there for walk-ins, and it's crazy because sometimes there'll be like 5 to 10 people on like a Thursday.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't do that over here in Orange County at all, because Orange County, there's so many shops and it's so saturated. And then there's a cheaper one on one side or on the corner, and and sometimes we just have to lower a little bit of the prices in order for it to get to client. But the only thing is that the shop that I work for is a Polynesian tattoo shop. So sometimes I get clients in there that they do. So we have artists that just do the Polynesian, and then we have the owner who does it the traditional work, But they have clients and their family come in and they'll be like, "Hey, I want a quick little." You think you smoked there, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we didn't get high either. So, sometimes our clients are like, "Oh, can I get a name or something quick?" And I'll bang it real quick, So that's nice. Or they'll make a bigger appointment. They're like, "Oh, I don't want a traditional on this part of my leg," and I've done like big pieces for them that's not Polynesian. And I have also worked with both artists, two different artists, and they'll do Polynesian work, but the client wants a combination. Like, for example, I remember doing a lion with Polynesian work on the arm, so we kind of collaborated.
That's pretty
Which
cool.
is pretty cool, yeah.
What's the name of the shop in Orange County?
That one's called A-Town.
A-Town.
Mm-hmm.
A-Town.
Yeah.
A-Town.
It was supposed to be for Anaheim. Word.
Stop. Is that a song? Yeah. A-Town. Is it
Is it?
Lil Jon?
Oh shit, I don't know. Oh, and there's certain things or phrases or words.
I don't give a flying fuck.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, you could. You might be the one that later might say, like, George, hey, I said something that I shouldn't have fucking said.
Oh, I don't give a fuck either.
Oh, okay. I will. Watch. A town
Tattoo.
stop.
Oh.
Is there?
No, it's Little John, right?
Is it Little John?
Town stop.
I don't know. I don't know any of that music.
But I remember the move, I think.
What is it?
It's like they move the leg, like they're like a town stop.
So let's see. I want to see if it is.
That doesn't sound familiar. That's not it.
Never mind.
No.
Anyways, so A Town in Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been there for?
I've been there since COVID started.
Oh, okay.
So I was at originally I was at Anaheim Inc., which was originally what's the spot where I apprenticed? Oh my god, Sick Maid. It's been a minute. Sick Maid Tattoo Shop. I started my apprenticeship there. So the guy moved to Texas.
How long did you apprentice for?
Honestly, it's less than a year. I didn't do the traditional. I didn't do the traditional apprenticeship.
Okay.
I wish I did. I wish I knew a little bit more as far as like the style of work. I think I just had the opportunity and I ran with it. And I think that was the best choice. At that moment, I had my girls were little. I was married, and so my life was more. I was a stay-at-home mom. Like my life was a homemaker, I guess. So I had that. I think it was my 28th birthday or 29th when I got the starter kit. I think it was the 28th, and then the 29th is when. The 29th, I think, is when I started the apprenticeship because I think I had it, and in a whole year I found the opportunity. Then after that, because I had my kids and I was investing a lot of time at the shop, and then money because I was investing money on it as well. I asked the owner, and me and him were really, really cool. He asked him like, "Hey, do you mind if I just start like doing small tattoos so I can just bring something in so that my husband doesn't get like frustrated with me because I don't want to leave, I don't want him to complain about it." And so yeah, he gave me that and I started. And honestly, I can say my apprenticeship wasn't ideal. And it wasn't his fault either, only because he had, I think it was more his apprenticeship was like, "All right, here, go." And he started in New York, and it was a more of a fast-paced environment. So I felt like he didn't have the traditional, so obviously I didn't get it. And the way he taught was more of like, just sit down and watch. And I don't have patience for that shit because I was too busy trying to make sure everything was clean because I was like on my shit, And so I didn't have patience for that, so I kind of learned on my own. And then I started learning. I started developing my skill, learning the speed of the machine, the size of the needle that works for me, the drop systems, the inks, everything, I think the most important part was the machine itself. Back then we started with coils and I have a small, I was skinnier then. So I have a small muñeca. So holding that machine hurt, So then the vibration, if I did it for 7 hours, I can feel the vibration going through my hands and stuff and it hurt. So then after that, a lot of artists converted to rotaries, and I didn't get the greatest. Then later I got a good machine, and then I just got into what I own now, which is a Bishop. I love Bishop, but I want to get the newer version because the one I'm using is an RCA and doesn't work really well right now. But but the machine actually helped me. All those years of knowing and studying and finding like that niche it took me a lot of years. So when whoever I try to help out or teach, and hopefully they try to still continue because obviously it's always you always improve and all that, but I always try to jump them like 5 years of the 5 year expand the 5 years of what I've learned. I hope they learn within the month. I don't want them to go through the struggle. And if they get better than me, I'm happy for them, you know. I'm not a hater. I'm not gonna, you know, and I have, so the owner of Ink, I know, like jumping into shit, but
You're good.
so the owner of Fellas, excuse me, Inkfellas. So back then, you know, Facebook, right? So Facebook, I had a lot of
Moms
friends.
run Facebook now.
I know, that's why I don't do that no more. My mom's like, "Ya te vi en el Facebook." I'm like, "Oh my god."
Ya te vi en el face.
Right? And then sometimes I put some ratchet stuff and I'm just like, "Mom, don't."
Nah, dude, my dad sends me a bunch of fucking videos. He's like, and when I go visit, he's like, ¿Viste los videos que te mandé? I'm just like, no, Dad. You know.
Where's your dad?
He lives in Hesperia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my parents live with Diego, my younger brother.
Oh,
so
yeah,
they live
yeah.
up
The
there.
one that I met?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been sticking with you. I noticed. I've seen that he's sticking with you lately.
Yeah.
So when Facebook was out, someone hit me up and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I like your artwork. I'm an artist too, blah blah blah." And he was just very hype, like very very cool. But when he said at one time, we'd go back and forth, talk about work, and then he goes, "When I come back from vacation, I'll go visit you." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, where are you coming from? Where are you vacationing?" And he's laughing at me. I'm like, and I didn't understand that term. He was in prison.
Yeah. Okay.
He was in prison. So I don't know. So 5 years later, I think it was 3 or 5 years. I don't remember. So 3 or 5 years later, he ends up coming out and he does show up. He shows up to the shop. He meets the owner of Sick Maid and myself, and he started working. And I'm very big with not like I'm when it comes to work, I like being 100% professional. So I don't like flirting with any of my coworkers, even my clients. Like, I just don't do that. But anyway, so he come and he's all like, he's just that,
Sure.
he's that guy. So, and then I just told him like, "Hey, bro, like me and you, we're friends. I like treat me. I can be coming in, walking in heels, whatever. Just treat me like a dude. Just I would appreciate that." He's like, all right, homie." He's like, "Is that cool?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that's how Spencer. He's like, "No, I'm gonna call you homie," you know. But anyways, so he comes in and I teach him a little bit here and there, and then he ventures out and he really goes out and hustles. He hustles to now owning his own shop, and he expanded the other shop, and then he owned another shop, which I was running a shop down in, I think, Riverside. So that guy, I'm very proud of him. But whenever I need help, like having, if I get slow, because it does times when it gets super slow, I'll call him and he's like, "Yeah, come in. I got you." And yeah,
That's pretty dope, man, because sometimes people are gatekeepers,
oh,
you know, and I've been around, obviously I'm not an artist, like
Yeah,
that's
you are.
art. Well, yeah, this is my art, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not a tattoo artist, right?
Yeah.
But I've been around the tattoo industry for a long time, around a lot of different tattoo artists, and you just see different personalities where just in that field and even in my field or any other field where there's people that are gatekeepers, they're dicks, they're assholes. I got to where I'm at and I'm not going to let you come up. I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to tell you. Versus what you're sharing. It's like, I want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to be better.
Right.
And yeah, dude. The only part I think sometimes that sucks is when you have an apprentice that just wants to cut corners, or someone who wants to learn but they don't want to put in the time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears. Maybe not the 5 years, maybe not what you went through, but they got to go through their own trials to get to where they end up being. They appreciate it more.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like they can figure shit out better. And if you really care about them, so that night that I met you,
Right.
I was talking to one of the camera guys from Telemundo.
Okay.
And he said that his first assignment was to build a table.
Okay.
And I'm like, in my mind.
And what does that fucking have to do with what I'm doing?
Yeah. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, he apprenticed. They treated him like an apprentice, right? So he's like, yeah, so I had to build the table, then I had to varnish the table, Then I had to light the table. And then finally, he's like, after several weeks, because it took him a long time to do this, then it was like, okay, now what you built, what you set up, and what we were doing, or maybe a couple days or something like that. He goes, now we're going to do a photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So then we started with photography, and then we moved on to film.
Mm-hmm.
But is how do you set up the piece to then actually make it look good on camera?
Okay.
Versus let me just have you shoot and let me just teach you the camera stuff.
Okay.
So it provides you a different perspective when you know you had to build everything to get there. Or an apprentice, go clean this, go set up my needles, go set up my ink. Like all the things that an apprentice is doing, running around, maybe not getting paid for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you need to do that shit so that when you become an artist, when you have an apprentice, when you have a shop, you know what the fuck is going on behind the scenes. Otherwise, you're just a good tattoo artist, but you might not know everything else behind it.
Right.
So,
That makes sense. To me, I think the apprenticeship, where I took it, I felt like the owner did, was amazing at, was the sanitation. Just the whole cleaning up and setting up and tearing down. I noticed, and he's very anal about it. So, I remember just being so used to the way he is set up, the way what hand to touch, what hand not to touch, like, because the cross contamination is something that like the average eye wouldn't even notice. And I now see him like, oh, you just contaminated this, and we
how
have
dangerous is that?
very. I mean, there's certain viruses, bacterias, all that shit. There's certain things that can live up to 7 days on a surface, if it's not cleaned properly. Like this is so a new artist just came in and he was telling me, this is horrible. You're not, you have your work environment. Sometimes I've noticed that these artists, when they have like their drinks or whatever, they set it up near, and sometimes they even use the same little cups to take shots, whereas they use to wipe and clean their needles. Okay, do you want to hear it?
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah. I'm like, I know what you're talking about because I've seen it.
Yeah, well, this guy, I guess they were getting a little, drunk, or he had a few shots. Didn't notice that he grabbed a client's rinse cup instead of a shot and drank it. So I think he got hepatitis.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just crazy. That's a crazy story I've heard, and this is a recent story that I've heard. So I'm not gonna put names because I don't think I even know the name of the guy, but but that's crazy. We poke ourselves sometimes. This is really, I think the machine where luckily
with
we have thick
nails?
skin.
Because those are kind of sharp.
Yes, I don't. I know.
Those
right?
are dope.
Thank you. Me and my daughter have the same size nails right now.
Yeah, I saw your picture.
Mm-hmm. I love my long nails.
How do you? Well, I'm not gonna. Never mind.
How do you wipe?
Nah. I was gonna say, how do you pick your nose? How do you wipe?
It's so much easier to pick your nose. Look, you have all that to just like claw
I got fat
out.
fingers, right? I should just get nails just for that. Like,
it just scrapes the little side walls and stuff. And then when I take off my nails, and I'm like, oh shit, this feels different,
But how do you tattoo with that?
I'm so used to them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I adapted to it.
Okay.
I can even type with them. I type with the tip of my.
Okay.
I mean, not that I'm in the computer
industry.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I used to be a receptionist. Just do administrative work before for the county. Mm-hmm.
But what made you get into tattoos? It's COVID. And
no, that's not when I started. I started way before. I started in that shop during COVID.
Okay.
I started honestly, I don't know why. I just thought about it today. I don't know if I started in 2015 or 2017, but I normally just go back and look at my
Instagram,
and I'm like, oh yeah.
But what made you want to get into it?
I was always an artist.
Okay.
Since I was a kid. I think I I think what even got me into it was I was praised for the fact that I started drawing and doing cool little things. And I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I guess in comparison to all the other kids, it was a lot, cleaner or whatever. And so I was like, oh, okay, someone liked somebody liked something that or appreciated or noticed me for something. And I think that's where I went, because I was, like I said, I was super shy. And I wasn't really, I had supposedly, I don't remember, but supposedly I always been goofy. But
Goofy's good.
I love goofy. Yeah. So I've always been goofy, in my own way, but always with people that I know I'm comfortable with, but for the most part, like, I remember and it sucks. I hate talking about this, but,
Well, let's talk about it.
oh yeah, bullies, I was always bullied, even my own, I guess they weren't even my friends. I can say they weren't my friends, but even the people that I hung out with were assholes with me, and I
Where'd you
didn't
grow up?
where?
Yeah, like what
Santana.
city? Santana?
Mm-hmm. The city I met you.
The city I met you in.
Mm-hmm.
That was so random, dude.
It was so random.
I'm like,
It's funny how
is
you didn't
that?
even know. You didn't even notice it was
No.
me.
Not at all. No.
What did you? Okay. Let me ask you. What did
Yes.
you? Because you looked at me. You're like, this fucking weirdo. What was it? What was running in your mind when I grabbed you?
Well, it's just, I'm looking at the stage, and then I look into the darkness, and then I just see your eyes.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm like, hi. So, and you're walking, and
Uh-huh.
I'm walking, and you're like,
Yeah,
come
come
here.
here,
Yeah,
yeah.
come here. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I
Did
need
you-
a, huh?
Did you see like, oh, this person's calling my?
Well, no, it's just like, I didn't know who you were. Like,
Mhm.
not being rude or anything, right?
No,
Like,
that's not rude. I don't think there's anything that you can say or do that's rude.
I just sometimes like I go to events or I go to places, and sometimes people approach me,
Yeah, I get it.
and they know me,
Yeah.
but I don't know them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't know who you were, and then when you said like, Janet, I want to be on your podcast, I'm like, oh, hi. So it was so random, dude.
Yeah, because I mean, I
So
remember
random.
messaging you like that morning, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it was that morning, I think. I don't know what the fuck, excuse me. I don't know what we were messaging about, but I remember messaging you that morning, and I'm like, you just messaged me, you don't remember? Like,
Yeah, it's so random. So random. And then your daughter was there. That
yeah.
was cool.
Oh yeah, my daughter's she's so like
How
me.
old is she?
She's 17, she's gonna be 18.
Okay.
Yeah. She's like Janet 2.0. Oh my god. That so she's I've always tried to give her the all the tools that I never received,
Is she your only one?
No.
Okay.
I have another one. I have the other one is younger. They're only 18 months apart.
Okay.
But she looks older. She acts older too.
The older one or the younger
The
one?
younger one.
Okay.
She acts older. And she's really, she's more composed, very chill, sweet, and she has this really attracting energy. Like people would just like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, and I tell her like, do you know you're real beautiful, right? And she's like, you just say that because I'm your mom. I'm like, no, you've always, since you were a little girl, everybody was always attracted to you.
So 2 girls?
That's it. 2 girls.
No
And
more?
no, my tubes are tight. Closed factory.
Can't you still do it?
No, mine are burnt and sewed.
Oh.
Unless I guess insanity, but I'm gonna be 40. But I don't want to have babies in my 40s.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't want to. No.
Maybe you want a cute little handsome boy, or something one day. Or no, yeah, no, you're
No.
done.
I think the reason why I wouldn't is because I put so much time and effort. I was a stay-at-home mom. I want to be able to give the same opportunities to, if I have a new kid. But the only thing is, I feel like I went through the divorce and all that. Their dad already has a new family, a new son, and seeing that, I already knew I would never do that to my kid. I would never bring a new family to my child to make them feel left out, because I already felt like the whole divorce was enough, So I just like, yeah, I can't be doing that. That's one of the reasons. Secondly, um oh, because I was a stay-at-home mom, I want to make sure I, provide the same. But I started, tattooing. I can say that in my 30s, where it kind of just barely started developing, and I'm like, I've gone so far. So then, if I have a kid, I feel like it's gonna push me back, and there's so much I want to do and accomplish. You know?
You know, it's funny. So you started tattooing in your 30s, right? Let's say.
I can say, yeah, 30s.
And sometimes people who
You didn't hear that.
no, it wasn't even caught on camera.
You didn't put music on it. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna drop that song, A Town.
I want to know.
Fucking find.
I want to know
I'm
what
gonna
song you're
find
talking
it.
about.
So the thing is that a lot of times people think that you should already be done in a career, be set up by your 30s, and that you should already be accomplished.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that's not the way life fucking works. You know, it's just not. How many successful people, especially like with what I do for a living, I found where they're 50 and they're barely like making it. Like, and what I mean making it, it's like they found their niche, they found like their freedom, they found their happiness, but it took them a long time to get there. Yes, there are those outliers, those fuckers that, make it in their late teens, early 20s, and life is fucking peachy. Or at least it looks peachy, right, from outside looking in. But in reality, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
but don't compare yourself to others. It's what they say. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to where others are.
Right.
You don't know if they had rich parents, or if they had a rich uncle, or if they had a fucking sugar daddy that slides into their DMs like they do to me. Like,
your sugar mamas? Oh, your sugar daddies?
Sugar daddies.
You got sugar daddies. Okay.
Sugar daddies pay more.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's funny how you know that.
I mean, we'll talk after this. We'll set up an account for you. So
I'm so down right now.
It's I was in Vegas. Everybody's sliding into my DMs about Joe, one of the guys that was there.
Is it the big old guy?
Not that guy.
Okay, which one?
So the big old guy is Endo.
Okay.
So shout out to Endo Nation. But Joe, he is the one that's helping me shoot the shotgun. So one of the things I said is, man, I'm gonna pimp you out.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, all right.
Oh,
He's
these
like,
men can.
Oh yeah, of course. And he's like, you get 20%. I'm like, nah, dude. I was like, I'm gonna get you some sugar daddies because those fools pay more. He's like, well, if they pay more, I'm only gonna give you 10%.
Oh, so you got DMs by men?
Oh man, I get DMs left and right from men.
Really?
There's so many men that slide into my DMs. So many.
Do you so you know I met you, right? I met you through TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm trying because I remember trying to remember the other day, and I was like, okay, I remember meeting him through TikTok, and the reason why I think I even started following you was because I think it was probably a podcast, but you were talking about how you're Salvadoran.
Yes, ma'am.
So am I.
No joda vos.
Sí.
Mira, puta. Ya no tengo que hablar en inglés. Mira, ve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Salvi?
Yeah. I didn't grow up around them though as much as I should, I feel. But why is my stomach acting up right now? It just wants to talk. You want to talk?
Yeah.
You want to talk anyways. Yeah, I didn't grow up around them as much as I did with my mom's side, which my mom's Mexican.
Your mom's Mexican, your pop's Salvi?
Mm-hmm. And but I didn't, I barely met my grandparents when I was pregnant of my first child. So, and then I remember
because they lived out there?
They live out there and they would come visit. So they started barely coming visiting in 2006. Yeah. So when they came in, I met them at my baby shower. I remember me and my grandpa at my baby shower. And I mean, you didn't know them. I didn't know them. So they were just like someone,
strangers.
I guess. Yeah, to me it was strangers. And then my dad and my mom, I see my dad's face like light up, and I never see my dad light up like that. So I see my dad's face light up, and then they would just be talking in this thick ass accent, and I'm just like, and they would just be laughing. I'm just like, what the fuck did you just say? Because I didn't hear shit. Like I didn't understand anything, But yeah, they have just like their the humor and obviously certain words are different, but I could not tell you what they were talking about.
It's funny because if I watch like a Spanish, like from Spain,
Oh, I love those like movies.
right?
I love them.
Screw them because I don't understand their humor. Or
I don't.
South American, right? So if it's South American, like let's say Argentinian, because there's some cool Argentinian stuff, Spanish, um, like I haven't seen many Bolivian, Ecuadorian, or anything else from South America, but I don't understand their fucking humor. I understand what they're saying, or I could pick up on it, but then they're laughing, and I'm like,
What? It's just like
why are they laughing?
yeah, it's,
I don't get it.
Yeah, they just have different phrases and it's what it means. Like, have you ever heard? I don't know. Someone just elaborated like this means, and it's just like certain phrases, like it's just slang.
Yeah.
And they laugh about it, and I'm like, this means this, and I'm just like, I would not pick. I wouldn't pick it up. Like, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't understand it.
So this is the thing. Mexicans, 100%.
Oh, of course.
Right?
But you're okay because your both parents are Salvadoran.
I was born in El Salvador.
Oh, cool. ¿Qué parte?
San Salvador.
Okay.
So all three of us were born in El Salvador.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's the thing though. Like,
You need a green card?
yeah, I know. What's up? How you doing? I told you the girl walking with the eyes. Like, oh, she can get me a green card. So, so the thing is, with Mexican culture, it's so ingrained in Southern California. Like everybody and their mom's Mexican.
Yeah.
Right? Like most Latinos are Mexican. Yes, then there's Salvis, then there's Guatemalans, and it'll go down the list and all that stuff. But I can understand Mexican culture, Mexican jokes, all that shit.
Right.
But when I watch those like Spanish things, I'm like, I don't get it. It's
Yeah.
not funny to me.
Well, of course, because you don't understand it.
Yeah.
But you know what? But talking about like Spaniard movies, I'd never watched anything that has comedy. But they're very big with like mystery. Have you ever noticed
Or
that?
like murder, or what's
Yeah,
that?
mystery,
like
murder.
horror shit.
I don't know horror. So the Guillermo del Toro, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's this one El Orfanato, or it's like the orphanage, but the Spaniard version. Oh my God, I fell in love. That's how I fell in love with him, because then he also directed all these other movies and stuff.
I just don't like stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's hard to understand sometimes.
And I yeah, but I think I catch it right away. It's not an issue. Like I think once I kind of watch it a few minutes in, I probably get it. But yeah, I think Netflix. I started watching the series, and they're long, like
Mhm.
But I was so into it because I was really intrigued by it. A lot of them took place like in like romance era and but these series, like honestly, it was like 60 episodes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because it kind of
So
got
then you pick up and you start learning a little bit more of it.
I don't
Like, do you know more Spanish? I mean, sorry, not Spanish. More Salvi now than you did before?
I
'Cause
don't know. I can't say, only because I'm not around my family like that, and I feel like if I did, I would, but I'm not. My dad
So
my
when
dad
you
passed
talk
away.
Spanish, like you don't have a Salvi accent.
So, no, if I do is I play around with play around with it
Yeah,
sometimes.
okay.
But yeah, no, my dad passed away like a couple years ago. So then after that, I just I kind of don't get along with some aunts are really nice, but a few of them we didn't see eye to eye about my dad's passing. So I just completely like don't communicate with them.
Interesting. Yeah, I get it. It's so yeah, I have obviously mom's side, dad's side, very close to mom's side. Dad's side, it's different. It's
Right?
different.
You're like, you feel like they're just different people, like different energies, like
It's different. Like, see, here's the thing: you get to choose your friends, you don't get to choose your family.
100%.
And but you do get to choose, like, whether you get to spend time with them or not, or to continue. And no thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
I tend to be to myself a lot.
Yeah,
Like
you're a loner because
I like it.
because you got bullied and you're an introvert.
I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with that.
Do you bully anybody now?
No.
You're not a bully at all?
No. I don't like it. I've done it. I know there's. I've done it. As weird as it sounds.
Do you believe in bullying? Like, should it be done to a certain extent or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not here to babysit certain kids. They're like, oh, they hurt your feeling. No, get the fuck up. Like, go. Don't let it get to you. Like, I think that's the hardest part. Okay, so I was telling you, I think earlier that I had 2 incidents yesterday. I had the best days, right? But what's weird about it is that those 2 days in the morning, I had someone hate. I never had hate comments on my side. I never
really.
I've never had anybody have. I randomly I know there's a fake account. There's someone. I don't want to name her. Dumbass. I don't want to name dumbass, and it's a person I bullied. No, only because I don't know if you heard the expression. I don't like even saying it because I'm not a bully, pero de verdad era mosca muerta. Like
Mosca muerta?
Mosca muerta. Have you
What
heard
does
that
that
expression?
mean? No.
Mosca muerta. Mosca muerta is let me give you an example of what they do.
Okay.
Like
Mosca muerta.
Like they beg like for a man's attention. Like you give them some sort of attention and they're just, I understand that there's some psychological issue. Like there's issues that they found within themselves, but they're grown women. Like I feel like those certain behaviors should be addressed and I don't know, fix those issues. Like, don't you have a problem when a man says no? Like, why are you there knocking on their door? Like, why are you there like bugging, like stalking a person?
Stop being a bugaboo.
Oh yeah, bugaboo. Mosca muerta.
Mosca muerta is a bugaboo. Is that a Mexican saying or is it like?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I've heard it a long time ago.
If someone else knows what it means, then
I think you're older though. You have to be older in order for you. To know the expression, because I think the expression I heard it back I think in the 90s.
Mosca muerta. So this lady's a mosca muerta, and she gave you some hate comments.
This girl. Well, she'll say no. Well, this okay. I thought it was her. I'm not sure if I can't say it's her, but she's the type of person that would make so many fake accounts. And even though you don't have beef, like shit has probably, you thought it was your like time and distance would have like just had her chilled. She would be on the page on the daily trying to find anything. Like I don't like going into details because there's reasons why I say that, but anyways, I for some reason thought it was her, and it wouldn't surprise me that someone would make an account months before just to have like access and have all the like make it look like it's a legit page. Anywho, so I got a message. My whole purpose was I got a message and it was a bunch of hateful comments, and I was just like, I looked at it, I'm like, okay. It tickled me. I guess that's tickled. It just tickled. It didn't really bother me at all. Like nothing really bothers me. And especially, and I go in and I looked at the page and I was just like, what is this? Like, I rather encourage people to do better. Like if I see someone struggling or doing something, like, hey, why don't you try this? Like I would want to help you. But because you came out at me like that, I was just like, all right, I'm not gonna, if you don't say, I'm not gonna say anything mean. Even though you came off me like we're being a bitch about it. But then they just laughed. He's like, okay, let's just act. He or she put, okay, let's just act like it's good. Don't get mad. Let's just say that your work is good. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I just said, like, look, keep commenting on my shit. It doesn't bother me because the more comments you put, I'm gonna get more views, and like, I'm not gonna cry about that,
Right.
I'm like, if anything, I told everybody, I encourage you to follow this person, like check his work out or whatever, if you want to go to that person, go to that person. Whatever you're saying or what you're doing ain't paying my bills, so I left it as that. And I thought it was someone because that someone is an ex who used to comment like that all the time on stupid pages because I guess I found out he has some psychological like messed up issues, and he likes messaging people like that just randomly, just he gets a kick out of it, you know? And so I thought that was that person, but I left it alone. I was over it. And then the next day I see a fake account, and I see I don't think my daughter, but there's a pic. The day that you met her, we were at an event, and she was working on a mural. So I took a picture of that and I posted it. And this person said a wetback, talking about my daughters. And I was just like,
This new account or that person that messaged you?
That's a different account.
Oh, a different account.
It's a whole different account.
Gotcha.
So then this is another day. I was like, oh damn, like dude, it's something's in the air, I guess. So. And instead of me reacting or blocking, which I normally do, I just block. I'm like, okay, whatever. I decided to say, damn, who hurt you? You know? And then this person actually responded and said, a lot of people. He goes, you're Mexican. I don't like Mexicans. I might, because, you know, a family member was killed from Mexican. And I'm like, and I told him, like, well, I'm not Mexican, fool. I'm not Mexican. And he's like, oh, and I was like, well, why are you down? Like that he obviously opened up and said
that's odd and good. I mean, I guess just depending on how they responded to you, you know.
Well, yeah, he could have been like, yeah, you stupid bitch. He could have easily done that, you know. And no, he actually said, he goes, yeah, a lot of people did. And I was like, oh, you really are hurting. And I'm like, okay, I am not. It's like, why? I know you said what you said. I'm not gonna tell you anything about it, because at the end of the day, that didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt my daughter. Like, okay, what does it do? It doesn't do any shit to me. So I'm like, you're hurt. I'm like, and I'm not gonna sit here and kick you while you're down, you know? And so I started talking to him. I'm like, well, why do you feel like that? I'm like, you know, you could change the shit around. Like, he goes, I don't smile. I'm like, why don't you? Why don't you do what you love? Like, and then I'm like, I don't know. This might be corny, but listen to this shit, right? And I sent him some information on it's like an audiobook that I like listening to, and it changes the way I think. It rewires it, and it changes my day. Like, sometimes I have to replay that every morning just to make sure that I'm on track, you know? So I'm like, listen to this shit, you know? And I really hope your day gets better. And then he goes, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm really sorry if I hurt your feelings. I'm like, no, you didn't. Don't be sorry. Actually, I'm glad you messaged me. I'm glad you hit me up. And because he did say, he goes, you actually made me smile. Thank you. And I'm like, oh.
That's pretty dope.
So that's what I wasn't productive, because to me, a day when I wake up, I have to be productive, make money. I have something to accomplish. I have goals, like, you know? And so, I didn't do shit. Like, I took care of other stuff, and I went to the shop just to work on something, and I didn't get to do that because I was sitting there messaging him. And then I was just like, I don't even want to paint anymore. I don't, and I left. And I thought about, I'm like, fuck, today I wasn't productive. Like, I was trying to beat myself up, and I was like, no, I didn't. Like, it was, to me, it was, I felt, I was happy that I did that. I was happy to make someone smile, knowing that he had so much hate in his heart, you know? I think that's the worst fun, because I've been there. I remember I've always been a person who sees the light on anything. Like, you could do some stupid shit, and I'm just like, oh, well, he's this, or, let him be, or whatever. And one of my friends like, dude, I'm dark, you're light. He goes, you bring some light into me, but we kind of balance it out. But she taught me to open my eyes on certain things, because I was so oblivious. I'm like, I was so oblivious to people being mean to me, you know? And so she kind of taught me to be like a little stand up for myself. And I took on, but then I took on a little too much, to where I felt like I started being hateful towards like who I lived with. They weren't really nice to me, you know? And so I held a lot of anger towards it, and I was living there for 8 years. And so I remember that was a time that I started accumulating a lot of like frustration, a lot of anger, hate, whatever. So, I remember I would start crying. I'm like, and I realized I got depressed, because it's not me. That's not my nature. I'm not meant to be mean. I'm not meant to hurt anybody. I'm not meant to hold grudges. I'm meant to let it go, you know? And so I caught myself. Luckily, I was able to catch myself, and I changed it around, But not everybody is able to have that opportunity to open their eyes and see that. So I'm just glad that I'm not there, and I'm glad I can balance it out now. And sometimes I have to catch myself because sometimes I can be a little, as females, and so como Salvadorian, Salvadorian women are, whew. But
What's the audiobook? Can you share that?
yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Here, hold on. I know it on top of my head, but for some reason I feel like I have to make sure I have it right.
And see, this is the thing, right? So I had a conversation with someone recently who 10 years later was thanked by a person he almost took their life.
Okay.
Yeah. And that person thanked them and said, thank you for sparing my life. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. And in some way, your conversation with this person reminds me of that, because you don't know where that person technically is now. Like realistically, like meet them, who they are, what they're doing, what's happening in their life, and where they're going to be at in 10 years or where you'll be at in 10 years. And so this person's telling me, it's like, yeah, bro, like immediately, like, dropping to his knees, thanking me. And it clicked in my head. Oh shit. Like I almost murdered this guy 10 years ago. He's in a completely different place. I'm in a completely different place. So I think that's awesome. It's changing, and it sounds fucking corny. I know it sounds corny.
No, I love corny.
Okay. Well, that's the thing about it, where I'm not here to change the fucking world. That's not my fucking job. But when I change one person's day, it can change their world with a smile, with a thank you, with a meal, whatever fucking interaction I have with one person. It's like there's so many. A friend told me once in Spanish, cada cabeza es un mundo, or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So every brain is a world, and that's the way I look at it, because we all live in different worlds, right? And so I think that's fucking dope that you did that.
I think I live. That's the reason why I'm here. I think it's
not because I'm Salvadorian.
No. no. Listen, not you. No, I'm saying that's that feeling of knowing that you're able to help someone and change someone. Just because I've heard it too. I've heard someone like, "Hey, like you're on my ass, and I'm actually doing this," and I'm like that, like filled my heart, And I think, and I just like, that's why I'm here. Like I feel, there's different healers. Like there's healers that, you do your podcast, you hear all these stories and people can relate. And then they listen and they're like, oh shit, like it clicks, and then it might change them somehow, but something very insignificant can change their whole reality, and like I said, in 2 years. So so people sit there, like people can't, so there's therapists, there's therapy, people don't like going to therapy. There's men that don't like going to therapy. They won't, but they'll sit there and talk to me. And I trust me, I'm not there. I'm there listening. I'm not only listening, but if you want to hear something, what I had to say, and I'm very neutral, and I don't like people stepping on people's toes. I don't judge anybody. You can be doing the worst, and I'm like, why? And now you ask, like, why do you feel that happened? Why do you feel that? And I'm not there to judge, because you never know what happened to them as a kid. You never know what their life was, And so but I think me sitting there and listening to these people and just like, and I talk to them, I think, and maybe knowing that made them feel better or changed their perspective of something that was tearing them down. To me, that's gratifying. Like, I think that's what I'm here for. I do it through art. Whether if they want to trip at something on my art, or where they're sitting there and talking to me while I'm tattooing them. You know?
Yeah, like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
It was cool. I did it like within 20 minutes.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
You wanted to do my class?
Huh?
You know, I'm doing one on the 26th.
Of what?
This month. Is it 6th? It's next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll see what's on my calendar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Busy.
So the book.
The book is called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Volkovich.
Florence Volkovich?
I can't even say it right. Hold on. Yeah, it's like, hold on. It's playing my phone.
That's a badass ring.
Which one? This one? Yeah. Hummingbirds. You know, hummingbirds is like my thing. Oh, I'll talk about that too right now. So,
what's the synopsis of it?
Florence Scovel. Oh my god, I said it wrong. Scovel. So what was that? I'm sorry.
Like, what does it say? Like what's it about?
As weird as I have theories of what life is and how life works. Okay. So it's weird as it sounds. You would never think that I was, but I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. Mm-hmm. My mom was go to church 3 times a week. So religion was shoved down my throat. So I'm not religious. I'll say that. I'm not religious, but I am very spiritual. And I've learned to be after I met certain people and I saw how things became aligned for me. And you know how you said, like, you know how you found people found their niche when they were in their 50s or whatever. And I found, even though it wasn't specifically on the timing that I wished, but it was on perfect and divine timing. And it talks about that in that part of it in that book, you know. Where do I start? So
in the beginning
of life, no. So I feel like everything, like I when I was a kid, it's weird. I didn't realize it. Like, I manifested what I have right now. Not necessarily the tattooing or what I'm doing right now, but more of, like, I always I envisioned what I wanted to have at that moment. Not really, because when I was a kid, I didn't know I could go and do what I did. Like, you know how they would say, like, when they were a kid, like, you can do whatever you want. I'm just like, okay, that sounds corny, whatever. Like, it didn't make sense to me. It didn't, you know? And then now it does. I tell my kids a lot of corny shit, but they won't get it until later. They'll be like, oh shit, that's what my mom meant. Oh shit. And my mom siempre tiene dichos. And I'm just like, okay, what does that mean? And now I know what it means, you know? But anywho, so I feel like everything unravels in perfect timing and perfect and divine timing. I always wanted my 2 girls, but I always saw myself with my 2 daughters always walking side to side, like beautiful, strong, independent women. And it's just us 3. I didn't envision a husband. I had him, and then I think I used him. I'm like, all right, cool. I get what I got from you, you know? He did. He was a good provider. He's a good father to my girls. And he helped me a lot. I think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So he also gave me that mentality of opening and seeing things in a whole different perspective. Like, I can hustle, go make your money. Like, that man can get money out of a rock. Like, everybody expressed it like that. He knows how to make money. He's a hustler. So my daughter, the one that you met, she gets that from her. She hustles. And she's artistic, and she can sing, and what else? She plays the guitar, she's fast with it, and she's learned so many different languages. And I told her, I'm like, I've always wanted to play the piano. I don't know where she just decided to play the piano. You know, like, everything that I didn't do, I would talk to her about it, and she would just run with it. And she was, you know, more smarter. She had the opportunity. Her dad's like, you want something here? You want some embroidery machine? Yeah, I bought it. I got it for you. And he's very supportive, you know, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. But, but like I said, I'm glad it happened, but I felt like that's what I wanted, I guess, without really realizing it. And I do, and I have it, you know, But anyways, everything I've had like little random things like, oh, this sounds like I want something like this, or I do that. And somehow within a month I have it, Manifestation is nothing that I didn't believe in for shit. Like I didn't know what that was, or I wasn't meant to believe in it. Like I'm not meant to, excuse me. I wasn't taught to believe in shit like that. But what was it? So the divorce kind of was crazy. I wanted it, ended up getting it, but it was really, really tough. He made it really, really tough on me. And so, what happened was I was going through something, and I have an artist that I used to work with. He's an older man. He's like a dad to me, And he's an Indian. He's a Yaqui, but he's the one who does ceremonies. There's so much about him. He used to be a violent, one of the most violent men, and he's just the sweetest, But that guy. He has bullets in his hand, like he'll grab a gun. He's that fierce. So I remember feeling safe with him. But I told him like, hey, I don't know what this means. And I don't know why, because I'm not spiritual like that. And I don't believe in anything like this. But why do I keep seeing a hummingbird? I keep seeing hummingbird, and I see it every morning at the same spot, and it waits for me. And I see when I look up, and then I get in my car, I leave, and he leaves. And I see it every day, but now I'm feeling like it's there for me. And he, I think he knew I was going through it. He goes, "Oh, those are messages from my ancestors." So he's like, "This is what you're gonna have to do." He's like, so I have I want to burp.
You should.
I don't know how it's not coming out. It's not coming out.
Hold on, let me tap you on the back.
So he's like, you're supposed to talk to it, tell him, dile su penas, tell him what you're going through. That message sent to your ancestors, and their ancestors come and relieve the stress, the pain, whatever it is that you're going through. And I'm like, okay, and I go, and I actually do it. I do it.
Excuse me.
And it's okay. And then I realize I'm such a busy, I'm always doing everything. I have a schedule that I do. I do on a daily. And then I realized that I didn't see a hummingbird anymore. I was kind of sad. I wanted, and then not even noticing, I'm like, oh shit. All that stress that I was dealing with, that I was going through, at the same time when I realized I didn't see it, it actually melted off. And I was tripping out on it, And so, ever since then, I see hummingbirds and I get so excited because I don't know, I see them like a gift, So I get super excited when I see them. And so
they're beautiful.
They're yeah. And so, and that's why I had it. Originally, I wanted the hummingbird facing like it's whispering into my ear. That was the whole concept. But because of the layout, I said, this is perfect.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And your ring is nice.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's the reason why I got this one. At that event that my daughter had where she was doing the mural, they had different vendors, local vendors, and I saw them and I just asked them, do you have anything that's hummingbird? I had a ring that's like this that was beautiful and I lost, and now I so devastated about it because I spent a lot of money on it. And so I went in and she showed me this and I'm like, oh my God, it's almost like the one I had. And it's with a hummingbird, which is better.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like what you're saying about manifestation. So manifestation, it's so there's this thing called your reticular activating system. So that means if you buy a red car, you never had a red car, all of a sudden you start seeing fucking red cars.
Yeah.
And then you're like, where did all these red cars come from? Nah, dick, they've always been there.
Yeah.
You just, it's this activated thing in your brain that all of a sudden you begin to focus on it. So part of, and this is my belief, my opinion, I could be wrong, but part of manifestation is when you speak it, when you write it, when you're intentional, then you start seeing the doors open up in that direction.
Yeah.
And you start going there.
Yeah.
It could be God, it could be faith, it could be, many other things that could be potentially helping you along the way. But the other piece from my understanding is just you just start seeing it more, and you start going in that direction. And then with your hummingbird, I see I see several hummingbirds that come in my backyard, and I'm just like I'm always looking at them. But it's almost like lifting a burden when that person told you to express certain things. Maybe it's like you expressed and you said, and then you felt that relief. But the point is that Zach told me this. We were talking about science versus faith,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, he's like, I fucking went to college, I took all these classes, like I am that guy, like up here, you know.
Right.
He said, but I know what I fucking saw.
Right.
Like I know what I lived. I've had many other friends that have said, this one friend who went through a very traumatic experience with her parents, very traumatic. And where she prayed to God and saw a vision in her head. Later, her parents shared a moment in time that coincided with the moment that she did a prayer. Right? Like hour, time, moment. And my friend says, no one can ever take that away from me. I know what I saw. I know what I felt. My parents, completely somewhere else, know what they saw and felt at that precise moment. It's God. And so your hummingbird, no one can take that away from you. It's like, it's special. It's like, regardless of what you say, it's like, it's special to me. It happened to me. I lived it. I saw it. It's my truth. And sometimes I think people are fucked up when they try to tell someone else their truth. It's like, let them have their truth. Like, that's their truth. That's important to them. That's theirs.
I like that you said their truth instead of their belief.
No, it's their truth.
Exactly. Because anybody else can say that was their belief. That's what they believe. But when you say that, I feel like it's saying like that's what they believe. It doesn't necessarily feel like I believe, you know. But it is the same meaning, I guess, their truth. But I feel it's more deeper, you know.
It is because it's like well, to me, I just I respect it. I might not agree with everything everybody says.
Oh.
You know, I certainly fucking don't. On a lot of issues, subjects, and okay, cool, but that's their truth. Like, how am I gonna fucking change their truth? Like,
Right.
I can't.
It made them happy.
It made them happy.
Smile.
It made them smile, made them happy, and
it made them be a better person sometimes.
Yeah. So, my truth about bullying, what you were talking about earlier, is yeah, I did bully.
You bullied?
Yeah.
Why?
I still do.
No,
I don't give a
you're not.
fuck.
You are not a bully.
I am, but like very. I think it's like intentional. Like.
Well, yeah, bullies are intentional.
No.
You mean?
I think bullies are reactionary, and I think that they're just like they don't. It's just who they fucking are, but intentional in the sense of like, I'm not soft. I'm a little rough around the edges, and so sometimes with some people, it's like. With friends, you're gonna bully friends, and it's carrilla, you know. It's just like you're fucking joshing or whatever. So I don't think I'm doing it completely in a bad way, but
just for shit and giggles.
Shits and giggles, like I'm not.
My best friend he's like that.
You work at a tattoo shop. You could talk shit all the time.
Oh yeah, it doesn't bother me.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you know, intentional with like, and then sometimes it's intentional to the degree of who you're actually dealing with.
Yeah.
Like
and how you like, and who, yeah. If it's like someone where you're just like really bullying because you really don't like that type of person and like or that person and you're just being mean, that's the one.
No, I'm not that. I'm not that guy.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, why are you bullying like that? No,
sangrón, maybe like pesado.
Pesado.
Like, I'm pesado, like for sure. But
I don't see it. I don't know why.
or
Maybe it's just the people that only the certain people that you're comfortable with being pesado with, or you just overall with everybody like that.
Like, there's probably something I'm gonna bully you about as a joke, right? Later or now, or I know I will. I know I will, but it's humorous.
Yeah.
But if the person can receive it from in their eyes, they'd be like, "Oh, he's kind of a dick." It's like, no, I'm kidding, but like I'm joking with you. I'll joke very harshly.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to take it if you're gonna fucking be my friend.
No. I think when a person can't take it, I think I don't know.
We can't be friends.
Yeah, no. Like why?
Yeah.
Like then you're always gonna be having or maybe talk shit or always say something and no.
Like I in my day job, right? Like what I do for a living, like no cursing, obviously, very proper. And that's okay because obviously that's the world that I'm in.
Right.
But in my friend life, we're gonna talk shit. I'm gonna make fun of you. You're gonna make fun of me, and we're just gonna go to different areas and different places in our relationship and conversations that I think I don't have in my business side, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know how to. I've been in the industry so long that I don't know how to separate that. Like
you have to. I mean, no, me and my side.
No, your side. Yeah. Like for certain, yeah. Okay. So have you ever heard of numerology? And do you believe in it? Mm-hmm. You don't believe in it?
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I'm learning about it. Mm-hmm. I'm open to it. I'm open to a lot of things. But
of course, same here.
So, supposedly I adapt to anything. But at the same time, what the bad part is that I absorb a lot, and since I absorb easily, like everybody's energy, that's how I can adapt. Like I can mold myself. So. I've been able to, I have friends who are from pueblos that, from, people that didn't have much and still don't have much. And I still consider them friends, and I love them, I don't. And then I have friends who, and I socialize with billionaires and I've been accepted with them. And it's just, I know how to carry myself around. Like I don't act ghetto with, and I don't act all polite and with these people, and I've come across with people just don't know how to separate all that. They just stay the same, and which is cool because I think that's their truth, but or how they really are. But I don't know. I think it respectfully, properly, like you adapt. If
I go meet your mom, I'm not going to be cursing up a storm.
No, I hope not. My mom, oh my God.
Like, hola, ¿cómo está? Mucho gusto. Yeah. Respectful, nice, and kind. If we go hang out at the bar, there's a different language that we're going to use. So when people always say, be yourself, be authentic, be genuine, it's like, yeah, but like you got to know where you're fucking at.
Just on and switch on and off. Yeah. Some people just don't. They just don't. They don't get it. I'm like, okay.
So your first tattoo, what was it?
On myself.
You tattooed yourself?
Oh, my first no. Like my first tattoo I ever received?
Yeah.
Oh God, tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like the little?
Yes, with the butterfly in the middle, and it's tribal, like old.
Did you cover it up or no?
No, it's still there. I forget about it. I don't know it's there. I was like, I forget it's there. And the latest one.
The most recent?
I did it on myself.
Did you?
Of myself.
Of yourself on yourself?
Yeah. But it's a clown. So remember I told you I have a friend who does an airbrush painting?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's one of the pictures. I don't want to show it only because, well, I mean I can. But I felt because I did it, I like when I work on someone, I know how long to stay, how to saturate and all that. But because I was feeling the pain, I was like, like,
Yeah,
and I'm
dude.
old skin, like I'm older skin, like I'm more sensitive, But I did this one, which is, so my friend owns Kaizen, which is, oh, we need to go. You know the bar that we were at where I met you?
Yeah.
Right across the street. It's called it's called Kaizen. It's shabu. You know what shabu is? Like hot pot.
Who?
It's a hot pot. Like hot pot. I think I got one.
My clients have told me about shabu. When they described it, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll try it. But I've never had it.
Oh, you need to go there. That's one of the best spots. I love it.
We'll
and
go.
my friend who owns the spot, he comes in, he's just, oh, but you don't drink, right?
No, man.
At all?
No.
Okay. So anyways,
But I can drive you home.
Oh yeah, right. So he'll serve shots and everybody's having a good time.
So what is it?
So that's his logo. So every time I go in, I get 50% off.
Okay, I like that.
So anyways, and then I have this one, which is mine, but like the eyes are off. I still need to saturate a lot of darks to bring out the lights.
Who's that?
It's me.
Is it someone?
Il est moi.
That's you.
Oui.
Ah. Ça va bien.
C'est bien.
Un peu?
Comme ci, comme ça.
Yeah. Donnez-moi des jambons.
Uy, je ne sais pas lo que estoy diciendo.
Exactly. See, that's what I'll fucking do. Basically, I said I want a ham sandwich.
Probably.
So,
you did.
Yeah, I
You did.
Donnez-moi des jambons.
Yeah.
Fromage. Fromage is cheese, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever put on
Senator?
who?
How?
What?
Senator?
No.
Lotions?
No.
Ointments?
Do you put on lotion?
Do I?
You're kind of ashy. No. What's that thing called? Numbing cream.
Oh, God, no.
You
No, I
never
mean,
used the numbing cream on yourself.
Yeah. No, when they were working on me here, my leg. But the only thing why I don't like about numbing cream is that it makes the skin raw. I noticed. I visually saw it. And then confirming how I had it, like it does thin out the skin. So any extra little pass that you normally would do without is now scarring your skin. So I noticed, I was like, why am I scarred? Like, I thought he just had, because he does have a heavy hand, and he was kind of hurting me after so many hours. So he did place some numbing cream and we continued, but that's what I noticed. And then later on, I saw like studies where an artist used, I guess, the whole back. He used the same inks, everything, one with numbing cream, one without. And you saw the one with the numbing cream, how dull the color healed. Like, so it looked like a whole different color. And it's dull, like it's not as bright and vibrant on the one that didn't have the numbing cream.
Could it be different type of skin?
No.
No?
No. I have a client that uses numbing cream all the time, and all his shit is so scarred. I never scar anybody like that. But it's the numbing cream.
So I asked my artist on the way to Vegas, and we're talking about it. I'm like,
you're not gonna tell him that you're gonna cheat on him pretty soon with me?
Oh man, he's gonna get so pissed.
Why do they do that? Why do they
so pissed?
Why do artists emotional like that?
Because it's your canvas, especially with.
That's funny you said that, because you own your own canvas. It's you, not him. But I get it. I get it. I get it. No, but is he the same artist from all to your neck?
Yeah.
He does a good job.
Yeah.
Keep going, man.
Thank you.
Props to who?
Mario Daggett.
Mario Daggett. Good job.
Yeah, he's moving to Florida.
So you're gonna have to cheat on him.
I guess so, or I'm gonna have to go to Florida and wear my little tankini. So I was asking him on the road, right? Because people always fucking bring that shit up all the time about numbing cream. And so I asked him, like, yo, dude, it's like, so what's the deal with this? Like, and so from his perspective, he said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's like,
I don't like it.
No. Hold on. He goes, absolutely not. Does not do anything when I'm tattooing you. If I can make my client more comfortable, and if it's better for them and they want to sit and it's something for them that puts them at ease, 100% we'll do the numbing cream. Because the question was, it was a two-part question. Will it change the skin? or the tattoo, and are you okay with using it? Because one could be like, yeah, it fucking changes it, but yeah, I'm okay with using it. But he, his response was just, I asked him, I'm like, well, why don't certain artists not like to use it? He's like, well, some of them are just dicks. Some of them. He's like, they just want people to go through the rite of passage of fucking, especially old school guys.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Like, why? Like, why are you being a little bitch for? Like, I guess so. I guess so. I think that's the only reason why I would say someone, I don't, okay, so to me, when I go into a shop, or when a client comes into the shop, I like getting started. Like, I don't like waiting around. Like, I get excited about my work. So once I place the artwork and then I start working on it, I sometimes don't even
Take a break.
but I don't like baking because then I feel like my I get out of
That flow.
that flow. Yeah, exactly. So I try to stay there. I try to stay as much as I can, but sometimes I feel like I have to because I'm just like I get too anxious, and I'm just like, okay, I need to slow down because I feel like I may go in and fuck it up or whatever. So I'll go and stop. And so I get so into it. It's crazy. I get so into it. So even if I drink a lot of water and I need to go to the restroom, like go pee, I will not go pee because I
You wear
would
Pampers.
feel it. Yeah, I wear Pampers.
Depends. I'll get you my size. They sell them in thongs too.
Yeah.
Have a little pepper sticking out.
Oh my god, right? So I don't even notice I had to go until like I stop and I'm like, oh, I'm wiping it down. I'm like, okay, let me take a break real quick or something, and I'm like, oh, I have to run and pee because I was holding it, but I didn't notice I was holding it. That's how I'm into it, and I'm sure a lot of artists can say the same, But so when people want to use this numbing cream, then I'm just like, all right, bro, you had to put it on a whole hour before. You had to wait. And like, I already put the stencil on you. Now I have to redo the stencil. And I'm just like, time is money, honey.
That's a pain in the ass.
It's a bit, yeah. I don't like wasting time.
Do your shit at home. Come
Yes.
ready.
Yes. So that when people are like, oh, do you have numbing cream? I'm like, it's not on my service. So if I can tell you where you can order it. This is how you use it, and just make sure you come ready. But I have clients that I'll tell them, and they'll still come like, oh, I just placed it. Or, I don't have Saran wrap, so I'm here to do it. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna hear bullshit. But those are normally my friends, and I'll just like, all right, we'll sit and bullshit,
That's me.
Oh, no.
Like when we did my neck piece, he's like, all right, let me put the stuff. I'm like, nah, dick. I'm like, you need to numb my fucking neck.
Did you do all like one side one day, or did you do it all together in one day?
All together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you know? I don't know. Okay, so you numbed it.
Mm-hmm.
But did you notice any difference as far as sensitivity on one side versus the other?
The thing is, numbing cream doesn't fucking numb it.
You're using the wrong one, sir.
No, well, what I mean, it's like, it's not like you don't feel it. You feel it, and then it goes away.
Yes. Depending on what brand. Depending on the brand. Also, there's some that are work, and then they only and then if they use green soap to wipe it down, or when they wipe down, they're actually wiping down as well. So it only lasts like 40 minutes.
The outside piece was sensitive, like like closer.
That was not sensitive to me.
No,
mine was more inside.
Right here.
No, more like. Wait, hold on. So okay, this is how. Okay, I like telling people two things. Women. So when you're on your period, try not to get tattooed because you're so sensitive. Like you're hypersensitive. So
okay, I won't go when I'm on my period.
Please, please don't. You'll be crying. So women, don't go get tattooed on your period day. Secondly, one side is a little bit more sensitive than another side. I can't say if it's left or right. All I tell them to do is like grab like a needle, I guess, and stab yourself.
Whichever side, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Just lightly brush it along your the area, and whichever area tickles more, is
Your sensitive side.
is your sensitive, the one's gonna hurt more. Yeah.
My jeans are too.
You do one first and then do the other. But you just have to be kind of aware. Like right now, you're probably because we're talking and stuff, so and you're thinking about it. But like if you're like chill, yeah. Mine is this side.
Yeah.
And I remember doing I tattooed myself right here and right here at the same day. I tattooed this, but it can also mean I always say if you're doing two different sides, one side's gonna hurt, and then the other side's gonna hurt even more, only because your pain receptors are rushing towards one side, leaving the other part vulnerable. So that's another theory.
Interesting. What hurt me was the outside a bit. It was like more like scraping, like the middle throat. You know, the Adam's apple didn't hurt.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
What hurt was right here, chest plate, like just right. This. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then you know, so that part, but the jawline.
Oh yeah.
The
That
jaw,
hurt?
like, well, because it
The
was vibrating
face.
my brain. I could feel like.
How did he have you? Did he have you like kind of like laying on the edge, upside down, looking upside down, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
hate tattooing in the neck area.
And I was like, dude, I was like, can you hold on? He's just like, what's up? I was like, I need some Advil, bro. Because it was to that point, and I went to Archie's. Shout out to Archie's. You gotta go to Archie's, dude.
What is Archie's?
Archie's is
They serve alcohol?
they have bomb ass sandwiches.
Oh.
So yeah, for real. So I went into Archie's and I was like, dude, give me some fucking Advil. And it's right next to the shop. So I had to take some Advil or Tylenol or whatever. And but yeah, I needed it. Just because my head, the constant on this right here.
I bet.
But what I've done several with numbing cream, and I mean most without.
Yeah.
And he'll just be like, "No, fuck it, dick. Like I like let's go. I gotta tattoo your ass. Like no numbing cream today, or
Yeah.
and like
time is money.
Yeah,
bro.
let's
Time
blast
is
this
money.
shit out.
Yeah.
But other times it's like, all right, fuck it. We're just gonna hang out all day. Like yeah, wrap you up. You know, we'll hang out outside. It's a cool spot. It's a cool spot where his shop is at.
Where is it at though?
NoHo, North Hollywood, off of Magnolia.
Shit. Okay.
So
I was thinking that you were coming to an area around here.
No. I go way the fuck out there.
Do you go to LA a lot?
To hang out with friends. You know, like
So you have a lot of friends out there. You do give me like the Hollywood vibe.
I used to hang out in Hollywood a long time ago.
And you got in trouble.
And then I got sober.
Okay.
You know, it's like
What made you be like completely sober? Have you ever heard of Kava?
who?
I know Kava.
Gava?
Kava.
Kava. No, it's Kava.
It's if I'm not mistaken, it's a root. It's a Fijian root, I think. Some Polynesians use it. Sometimes they use it.
Hey, aren't you?
They use it before they do like they do it before they get at tatao.
That's like that month tattoo.
Yeah, the tapping. Yeah, they do that. I've had it the first time at the shop. They have it on a wood bowl that they carved, and then they do like a prayer and they clap, and I think it means so it is. I think that's a phrase.
Que sí sea.
Algo así. Y luego, and then they take it, and I think that's when they do it, or they do a prayer, clap, and then they drink it, something like that. Please, I would like to be corrected if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Correct
her ass.
So I found one in LA. They have a kava bar in LA. And I hope, because I think drinking and socially drinking has been it's very, very common now. And I think that's the reason why I drink, because I never really drank. Like I didn't care for it, and I love it. Like but I don't care to. Like sometimes I'll just like I don't even want to drink. I'll be hanging out and don't want to drink, and it's just fine. But there's times when I'm just like I want to just not like try not to. And my friend took me to a bar in Huntington Beach, and but she's the one who introduced me to a little bit more about like spirituality, like And I'll tell you a story on that one. So, we did, and we had like she came, she's like, I'm here for something for you for a reason. I'm just like, and we went to the kava bar and we were just talking about it and we prayed on it, and then it was a good day, but you get that relaxing, it relaxes and numbs your body.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Maybe you could take me to a kava bar.
Yeah, I'm down.
And then a shabu.
Shabu.
Yeah, I'm down to try it.
Yeah, that one's fun. So okay, so this friend, her name is Candy.
Okay.
Dulce. I've known her since high school. We were good friends. We've been friends. I remember I met her maybe I think sophomore year, I think. She was always like fun, spunky, wild. And a lot of people thought she was too much, but she was my friend. I loved her, And and I remember, life kind of like, I think it was right after graduation. But before that, we were so in sync that we would, I don't know if you ever noticed that you're so in sync with someone that they end up dressing almost alike.
Yes.
So that was me and her, and I was just like, that's when I like noticed like that connection with me and her. Anyways, after that, life kind of threw us in different directions, and then one day I was actually going through it. I remember tearing up like and heavy, like I was just feeling super heavy, and I remember crying one day, and I felt like alone. I remember I was working 2 jobs, and I really noticed like I really was to myself, and I was still 19, So I remember that day I was like crying, and I even begged for like something, and so out of nowhere, she's knocking on my door, and I'm like, what the fuck, like. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I can hang out. And I'm like, okay. So we go, and I get my tongue pierced. She was driving because I didn't drive back from. She took me. We went this. We were just doing things, and I'm just like, and I looked at her. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm tripping out that you're here because I haven't seen you in so long. Like, and out of nowhere today, the day that I was just going through something, and I was praying for something, and you just showed up. And then I just remember that feeling. I just remember feeling it was special. I felt like God sent her to me. So then life happened again. I had kids, married. We haven't seen each other in years, until maybe a little bit before my dad passed. I know she had kids. She moved to Arizona. Totally life changed, And then she's like, Janet, I have to tell you something. Like, you call me. And I was like, okay. And so she's like, I'm like, okay, don't think it's weird. I hope you don't think it's weird. We're on a 3-hour phone call. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes. Have you not noticed on my Instagram? I'm like traveling Mexico. I'm doing the most. Like, I'm living life. I was living my best life, I'm like, there's nothing I can complain about. Like, what's wrong? He's like, no, there's something's up. And I was like, I can't think about it. I'm like, well, why are you telling me this? Like, I don't get it. She's like, okay, don't be weirded out, but I have some type of connection. She didn't want to specifically, she did tell me, but I can't say exactly what she believes in, but so I don't want to quote anything wrong, but she's like, something told me to, something, I connect with something, and something that one thing told me to contact you. I don't know. We just need to figure it out. I'm like, okay. So we're sitting there trying to figure it out. And I'm like, is there something that's the kind of somewhat bugging you in the back of your mind? Let's talk about it. So as we're having a conversation, I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, my dad's getting a little sick, and I'm just like thinking like my dad's not doing so well, Like, my relationship with him has always been like not the greatest, whatever, daddy issues for sure, And so he goes, okay, then she goes like, okay, let's figure that out. I'm like, well, why do you feel this way? So she taught me I don't know how to let go of things. I didn't know how to. How do you forgive something? How do you let go of things that hurt you? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know where to start. And so she's telling me she's walking she's walking through it with me in every step of the moment. And she's pretty much building me, like she pretty much was there to warn me. Not She didn't even know what was going on, but she knew that there was something going to happen. um 4 months, I believe 4 months later, my dad passes, and so she kind of helped me. If it wasn't for that, I think I'm such like um sensitive person that I felt like I don't know what I would have done, just because I was like, I wouldn't have time to forgive him, or to connect with him, or whatever. So then so I remember trying with him, but he's such a stubborn man. He's such a stubborn man. I would be like, I remember having a moment, with him, and I was just like, that was great. And then out of nowhere, then he said some stupid shit, and I'm just like, oh my God, all right, bye, dad. Like, I know this is the reason why I don't talk to you. I'm so understanding, I'm so forgiving with everybody. How I told you how I am. But with my dad, I just can't. Like, I never had the patience to. I think so. So I remember, having moments with him, and then we had our moment as he had his own moment with me, and Father's Day came, and I was just like, I remember like, oh, I need to call my dad. I'm like, it's already like 4 o'clock, and I'm having too much fun. I was so selfish. I was having too much fun, and then I was in the pool. I remember being in the pool with my friends, and then I kept getting a phone call from my mom. I'm like, oh, all right, my mom. I'm like, I'll call her back later, and then she calls me again and again, and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, Mom, what's up? Like, what's going on? And she's like, your dad's in the hospital. He had an aneurysm, and so my mom stayed with my dad was not the greatest. So I remember I always told my mom, like, hey, like, why don't you divorce my dad? Like, every kid always wants their kids, not me. I saw my mom. I saw how my mom felt, and I cared for her. Like, I cared for her emotions, her feelings, and I was just like, well, why are you here? So, anyways, my mom was like, oh, because you guys are in school, you guys are young, and then we got in their 20s, and they're still together, and my dad was still on his own bullshit. And so it's just like, oh, okay, so what's your excuse now? And eventually he just got worse and worse. And she finally ended up, like, separating. And I feel bad because I pushed it towards it. And like, then he felt even more depressed, and he ended up passing. So I felt like she feels guilty. And then I feel guilty because on the day that I was supposed to call him, I didn't. And I know he was like really sad that day. My brother was telling me he was like really sad. And it's fun. It's weird as it sounds. After he passed away, I looked at his phone, and his passcode was my birthday. Like, he never made me feel like I was his favorite. He never made me. He was not an emotional person, so he never spoke about anything. Like, he would just be like, "Hey, are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, "All right, cool. Are you making money?" "Yeah." "Cool." And he just like walk away. But he's never been a communicated person. And I feel so guilty because I didn't call him that day on Father's Day, and he passed away a little after. He became a vegetable because he had aneurysm, blood, I guess, inside, and just the way it was impossible for him to stay.
Let me get you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I hate crying.
I love crying.
No, not in front of people. I know, no, I know my friend's daughter loves crying. I thought it was funny too.
I don't have tissue, but I have these.
That's one is.
No.
No, but okay, it's out of my system. But so I just felt bad because I honestly felt like he was sad because I didn't call him. And I felt like he wasn't taking his medication. I was really frustrated with him several times, and he was going through it like what I was never understanding with him.
It's funny that I just had that thought today when I reshared part of the podcast that I had with Dusty. So our parents, or just even you, right? So your daughter,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have the tools that your daughter's going to have 20 years from now, right? My parents didn't have the
No, of
tools,
course.
especially your dad's an older Salvadoran,
Was an older Salvadorian, yeah.
right? An older Salvi.
A little. He was cool though.
Salvatrucha, right?
Yeah, he
And
gangbang.
so this is the thing, right? That I look at my pops, right? And I've said this many times. My dad doesn't say I love you. He hugs me, you know. He every time I go see him, he's there for me. He's always there for me. My dad's fucking amazing. But he never says I love you.
Will it change anything?
Will it change anything?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think so. But when I was looking at it when I was younger, I'm like, Dad, this fucker never says I love you.
Yeah.
You know, and about a month ago, he flipped out on something, right? So he flipped out.
Mm-hmm.
He was yelling at different things, different situations, and I was telling him to calm down,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then he says, "This is how I am." And I said, "Well, choose different." Like, you know, like trying to check him, like,
Yeah.
choose fucking different. And sometimes I feel that, like your parents or my parents, sometimes they didn't have the opportunity to. They had to be stronger. I believe they had to live more difficult things. I believe than maybe what we have.
Oh no, for sure.
And sometimes it made them so much rougher, harder, difficult to change, to accept, to be vulnerable, to tell us, to care about us. And but then you see your birthday is this passcode. It's like, fuck. It was there. He just maybe didn't know how to express it, how to say it, how to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I just the only part I say for us, the only part that I could say for me at least, is I need to do better moving forward. So like I know how my dad's heart is, right? I know
Mm-hmm.
where my dad's heart is. But one of the things that I can do is maybe not flip out as quickly, um, and love people differently and forgive quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, funny thing is, and I'll tell my little brother, I tell him, I was like, dude, you don't know the conversations I have with my pops. Like I have man to man conversations. Like when I talk to my dad, it's like he's my homie.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a very different relationship that my dad and I have than my younger brother. Very different. In the sense of like how I can speak to him and how I can call him out on shit.
Are you the firstborn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm not gonna talk about that shit in front of you guys. Like I'm not gonna address him in front of you guys like how I address him in private. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a certain relationship with him and that's us. But I know like what I need to do moving forward. Like in my
Mm-hmm.
relationships and what I have in my life, I can change the cycle. I can change that
Mm-hmm.
for me moving forward with whoever the fuck is in my life.
All right.
If I have kids, if I don't have kids, you know. My grandmother died of an aneurysm.
Sorry about that.
And sorry about your pops too. It's what fucking sucks is they're here 1 minute and I mean obviously when someone passes away, they're here 1 minute, they're gone the next, but it's like they're okay and then all of a sudden it's like I remember my parents sitting us down and just saying what happened, and you know, part of it is she's gone. She's just breathing now,
Mm-hmm.
like she's a vegetable.
Yeah.
And then we got to go pull the plug, and
Yeah.
it's just like I remember seeing my grandma in her casket. I didn't want to, but I did, and it's just like that's not her.
Yeah. They don't look alike. It just,
I'm like, that's not her.
you know, it's funny. I normally don't cry. Like, and I think about my dad sometimes. I randomly do, but it's so rare. Even when he did, like, I had my moment, but I didn't. Like, only because I think the only reason why I'm crying is for my guilt. Honestly,
For that call.
I don't feel like I don't feel like I lost him. Honestly, I feel like I'm closer to him now that he's passed away because I feel like he's to me I'm very he's just transitioned. So now I have him like really being there for me, how I felt like he really did, he wasn't as a person. He didn't know how, and I do see that, like I do understand, like there must have been something that happened to him, and I feel more I do feel compassion and understanding and all that, but um I think it was more of like the frustration of the hard-headedness I dealt with, that I had to deal with was I was just like, ay, yapa, but now that I have him as what his true self is, I feel like, and how I interpret is him telling me like, I didn't know any better and I'm sorry. And he did say I'm sorry before he passed. He did say I'm sorry in tears. Me and him were kind of fighting, and he just cried. I never seen my dad. I mean, oh, that was like the worst feeling ever, seeing my dad cry. You know? And I remember just hearing him laugh, and that was, to me, is like a gift. Hearing him laugh was a gift, because I never really heard it. So it was nice to hear my dad laugh. But then hearing my dad cry at that moment, I was just like, oh, like, but but honestly, like I said, I don't really cry because I know deep down inside, like, he's still there. My grandma passed away a little bit after, and I feel sad because she experienced his death along with other deaths, of her children. And she's a strong woman. That woman's strong. Es Salvadoreña. She was a partera in her town. She was the one who what do you call the midwives. She was a
Okay.
midwife, so she was really well respected. Sweet lady, sweet lady. She was like this little, and she passed away a little bit after. And the day that I saw the day that my friend came to me, and we went to have kava, was the day I received a phone call. And it's funny, it happened that day because she was there for me. My grandma had an aneurysm in Salvador, and so my brother went to visit her, and he went out there, visited her, came back, and then he went again the next year. She lasted a whole year. He went out there, visited them, came back. A few days later, she passed away. He went right back and buried her. So I was happy that my brother was able to experience that, because my brother doesn't really go out much, doesn't do much. He's really very chill, settled, passive man. And so for him to be able to go and visit family is really nice. I didn't get a chance to do that because I didn't put myself. I don't know. I just didn't, like I told you, like I'm just like, to myself. But I mean, I would have, but I think at the moment I was just dealing with a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with here right now. But anyways, I my grandma, I feel like she's somewhat of a strong spiritual woman, so I feel her. She even came in my dream one time. She came in my dream. She told me something. Like, I was having like a dream. It was like all playing. I don't know what I was dreaming about. I was dreaming about something, and then out of nowhere, she comes in. She just tells me her message and disappears. And I'm just like, I woke up. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, was that for real? And surely it was. It was real.
Yeah, my abuelita was the fucking best, man.
Yeah.
I fucking loved her.
Did you dream about her?
So this is gonna sound so fucking wrong, but after she passed away, she came to me in a dream,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the scariest fucking dream that I have ever had. Well, not ever, because I have a lot of night terrors, right? So, like, let's say we're gonna hang out,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna bring a sleeping bag. I'm probably gonna tell you, like, yo, dude, I might have a nightmare tonight. That's
Really?
how often I
Well,
have nightmares.
okay.
Like, very normal for me to have a nightmare, and not just a nightmare, but like a night terror where I'm fucking yelling. Like,
Okay,
I
let's
might
talk.
hit you.
Let's have a therapy session. Why?
Like,
What's going on?
I might pop you if you're next to me, type thing.
Oh, my ex did one time.
Oh yeah.
I was pregnant. He went
Oh.
and he started laughing. I'm like, you're. I thought he was still sleeping. He started laughing. I'm like, you hit me. And he goes, I was dreaming. And he told me his dream, and I was like, it's horrible, but
Yeah.
I was a victim. I was a victim.
Yeah. Yeah. So when my grandmother came in that dream, I remember waking up or in the dream, it was so long ago. I said, never, ever, ever visit me again. I'll see you when I die. Do not come into my life.
You told her that?
Yes. Don't bug me. You're dead. I don't.
You
I,
want to relive it?
so I think at the time I was even now now I might be more mature to be able to handle what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, like, I've seen things, right? So it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's like, I know what I fucking saw.
Wait, what did you talk about earlier that you saw? That you see?
Well, what I said that Zach said, Zach was talking about ghosts. So it's like, I've had the sheets pulled. I've had them talk in my ear. I've seen them.
Oh, oh, really?
Oh, dude, I drove from fucking La Cañada, booked it, scared as shit as a grown ass man, like, because of what I've seen and what I've experienced. Like, and this is like, no, like, not like a dream. Again, people are like, oh, you're dreaming. Oh, you're on drugs. You're on alcohol. No, Dick. Sober as fuck. Like,
Have you ever tried to have someone help you with it?
I don't want it. Yes.
So wait, yes or no?
Yes, they've asked to be able to help, let's say, channel what I can potentially see. But it's like, nah, I don't.
No. Not potentially see, because I'm sure you're very sensitive to it. But what is it? Because I feel like there's something that's there that you don't necessarily have to have there. It's just there. But have you ever tried to have help to remove it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had yeah.
And why is it there? Have you heard? Do you know why?
Why is the gift there? Or why is
You can have a gift. You can have, like, because I know people that have gifts, but you're channeling like certain energies that are obviously negative, bad. Why? There's reasons why you're channeling that. There's reasons why you're surrounded by it. But have you wondered why, and then after knowing why, you're removing it, like, completely, like, working with it? Not working with it, but working
So I've
against
had
it.
a limpia,
Mhm.
spiritual limpia, um, and people have just who do that have shared with me that um, again they call it a gift. I call it a curse. I'm like, and the thing is, again, grandmother, right? Should be beautiful,
Mhm.
right? But because I don't know how to control it, because I don't know how to manage it, maturity, or whatever you want to call it. I just said, don't fucking visit me again. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want to see you. Like, I'll see you when I'm dead.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know. But yeah, that stuff has happened all my life since I was a baby.
Really?
Oh yes.
What was the most terrifying experience that you've had as a kid? I mean, you're a kid, I think it's terrifying, right? Or maybe not, maybe so terrifying because you used to seeing it, but then when did you realize, like, okay, this is like not normal? And it just kind of scared you at that point.
I mean, the La Cañada house scared the fuck out of me. Walking into a room, getting out, getting off work, going home, and when I go into a room, so walking down the hallway, here's the room, doors open, I could see a window in the room, and the lights are out. I'm in the hallway, the lights are on, so the light is shining into the room, but the room just turns pitch black, and you could just see it start to turn pitch black, and it's this darkness is coming at me, like it's the weirdest. I don't know how to explain. It's just a dark shadow is coming at me from inside the room, but not like a shadow, like wind, like
Like
it's.
it's just like an energy, like a.
And then the hallway's black, and it was saying things. And
Did you understand what it was saying?
no. And then I remember going to my truck. I'm like, what the fuck? Walk outside, and there was shadows walking in the street.
Maybe there was a portal there.
I don't know, but I know what I saw.
Yeah,
And that's
no,
the
of
thing, right?
course.
So I'm like, I walk outside and I'm just like, what the
It's
fuck?
probably a portal. You're probably near a portal.
And so shadow, like human shadows.
Mhm.
This, mind you, this is in the fucking mountains. La Cañada.
Like, yeah, you were saying La Cañada house. I'm like, what's La Cañada house?
La Cañada house is like the 2 freeway, right? You know where this 2 freeway is?
No.
Glendale. Do you know where Glendale is? Pasadena.
Yeah,
Glendale.
kind of. Yeah.
So the 210 freeway, Glendale, Pasadena, and like let's say, anyways, it's up in the fucking mountains, right?
Mhm.
And so the house sits against this mountain, and it's behind the house. It's just fucking mountain. In front of the house, it's like another house, but it's a quiet street of huge houses. Like big ass fucking houses, like 3 stories, huge backyard.
Mhm.
The point is, when I get back on the street after, little ghosty ghost scared me out of my house, like I'm looking down the street, and right behind my truck, like shadow, like of people walking, like if it was like the middle of a street. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck am I seeing? And I remember calling my dad.
Do you know what the history of that area?
No idea.
Mm.
I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, I gotta come to the house. And he's like, are you? Because he heard it in my fucking voice. He goes, are you all right? I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck. And I told him, he's like, yeah, come. Get in the truck, start driving down the street because I have to drive down the hill. And they're in my back seat.
Oh, they're following you.
They're in my
your
back
car.
seat.
In your car.
Yes, in my truck.
What the fuck?
So that was one of the most intense, like, I mean, I described it very not scary right now. I don't think it's as scary as it was in the moment. Like door flying, like a bunch of shit happened, dude. And again, I'm not on drugs. Like I'm not on LSD. I haven't smoked weed. I haven't drank. I'm sober as fuck. So that, along with many other things that I've seen throughout my entire life, where I'm just like, I don't want to fuck with none of that. Like, I don't want no doors. Don't visit me. Don't talk to me. Like, no, thank you. It scares the fuck out of me because it's a door to maybe something beautiful, but it's also a door to something that can maybe hurt you. And that's why, like, when Zach was saying, he's like, I know what I saw. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, no one could take that away from me. Like, no one could take what I saw, what I've experienced my whole life. My brothers will tell you, They have their experiences, and it's just like I don't know what the fuck it is, but all I know is I don't want to fuck with it.
So right now I stay at my friend's house, and they're older, and they have their kids that are like one's 26, I believe. I mean, the one's like 22, 23. I'm sorry, I forget their name, their ages, because I've uh I've been around for a minute. So
Excuse
I
me.
remember when she was telling me, like, yeah, like the house feels weird. Like I remember the house I stay. It's a really beautiful it's a big house. But there's like the downstairs and there's upstairs and stuff. But there was this one part where I'm like, I was somewhat skeptical, but I felt something,
Mhm.
and I
I'm
didn't know.
listening.
Yeah, I didn't know what to address it, because I was like, all right, this is just me, or I'm just being like, not a weirdo, but like a scary cat. And it ends up being, she's like, well, my friend didn't tell me until like months later. She was saying that there's that one part that her dad, because her dad's a priest, so her dad had to like stay there and do stuff, had to be there several times because whatever was there wasn't going away. And I'm just like, well, what was it? I'm like, and I'm like, was it there? And she's like, yeah, we both expressed it's the same area. Her son sees things, but he just doesn't want, he blocks it, blah blah. And I get it, I respect it. He sees, like, things happen to him, but nothing crazy, I guess, but crazy enough to believe, certain things. And I think, to me, it's scary, but those gifts are given to people who can handle it. I think you're meant to have it. Yeah,
Well,
even though, but I think but I think the fact that not knowing how to channel it, not knowing how to, like, have it controlled, is where, because it's scary, dude. Like I think I would be fucking hella scared myself, like, of course. But now, like, I don't get I used to get scared so easily for anything. Like I was such a scared cat. But now I'm just, I hear things, I randomly see things happen to me. I'm just like, okay. But it doesn't scare me anymore. I think I see it more of like, all right, you're showing me that you're there. That's it. And I just like, cool, thanks. But like what you see, it's different.
it's So when I was a kid, I would tell my uncle. My uncle still talks about it. And again, these are things where I'm like, it's just a weird little kid, right? He's like, he would talk to the plants.
Oh, cool.
He's like, you would just be like, oh, look at the little, like,
That's what you did when you were a kid?
yeah. He's
Oh,
like, look at the little duende.
you saw the duendes?
He's like, you saw duendes and plants, and again, it's not like I was fucking watching TV, but it's like you would say, like, look, there's a little girl in the plant. Like, I'm talking to her, and you were like a year and a half
Oh.
talking to the planter. You would point at them, and um, I remember when I was in maybe sixth grade, no, fifth grade.
Mm.
It's when so sleep in the first bedroom down the hallway, and I hear footsteps in the living room, tile floor. Every time the footsteps took a step, the bottom of my feet would vibrate. And it's at night. I slept alone in my own room, and every time I'm like, someone's walking in the living room, and I would, footstep. I would footstep every time, and then it went down the hallway. It opened my door, and then it closed the door, and then it came over me, and I just felt it. I felt something over me, and it said something in here, and I could feel this heat, like just
Mm.
like heat, cold, like both at the same time, the weirdest fucking thing, and go over me, and it just felt like a wind, like woo,
Mhm,
back
mhm.
out, open the door, and then close it and lock it. Pick
That's what it did.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pictures would end up being cut up. Um, it's like my brother would, and then again, it's like it wasn't just me. It was like my brother would see talking to my mom, and then, dude, who the fuck is peeking around the corner at our own house? Like, and then hands, and then my mom seeing it, and it wasn't just again just me. They've experienced stuff less than I have, but for me, it's been things where I'm like, I don't. I had a friend of mine tell me once, she was on the podcast, and she said, "You're such an oxymoron." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Because you said you meditate." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I kind of do, like every morning." She goes, "That opens up your third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you meditate, like you're opening up your third eye and you don't want to see shit. Like you're opening up your third eye every time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you're sensitive to it, like you're just doing it more and more and more."
Mm-hmm.
So to some people, that's fucking weird. Right? What I'm saying right now. But it's like, it's my truth. It's what I lived. It's what I saw. And so,
I'm intrigued. I'm scared, but I'm intrigued. Does any of your bracelets break? You're wearing it on the right hand side, huh?
this is my right hand.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's what I'm saying.
Do they break?
Yes.
I
I wear them on my left.
watch on the left.
I know, but they're supposed to go on the left.
Why?
I've always been told the left hand side.
Oh, no.
Your left hand side is receiving.
Uh-huh.
The right hand is giving.
I give with both hands. So I had people, I was doing a live before I was on here. I'm going to ask you some questions that people sent in.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to see if maybe you already talked about them. Maybe you didn't. So one question is, how do you feel about cover-ups?
I do. Like, I'm not intimidated by them. I've done them.
This is sent in by Sinsin, by the way.
Sinsin 03?
No. Underscore Sin.
Cindy.
Yeah. We'll say Cindy.
Wait. My girl Cindy? Okay. So cover-ups, I don't I'm not intimidated. I've never been intimidated by anything. Like, so cover-ups, I don't feel intimidated unless it's like a big ass huge black solid like what is that shit called? The shit that I have in my back what tribal?
Tribal?
I've done it, and I have to wait because everybody's skin's different. Everybody heals differently, so I have to see how it heals. But there's different techniques. I always tell now when it's so dark, I was like, hey, do me a favor, just go to do the laser at least a few times, and I'll look at it, and then we'll do a cover up. Because you don't want to do it to where it goes all the way, because I can cover it up even if it has a slight tint in the background. But then there's those intimidated black ones. But I did have done this before, and I remember just thinking about it, and I haven't done it in a while. When it gets so dark, going over it with white, letting it heal. It's just process. But me, I like getting things done right away. Like I get anxious. I want to see it right away. So I avoid it. But if it's really dark, I can do. If I don't know what's more expensive, laser or getting it covered up, because the cover-ups are more work, so therefore it's a little bit more expensive. So I can go with the white, go and saturate that white to when it heals, it gets that light tone, and it's somewhat similar to what the laser would do. I just don't know what's painful. I've never done laser, so I just want to know what's convenient for the person. So it just depends on what they feel comfortable with. We can do several sessions, wait for it to heal. It's just going to take months, and then depending on how I see it, then I'm like, all right, cool, now it's good. We can put something and slap something on top of it. But I've covered some really dark, crazy shit. So
I think sometimes it's exactly that. It's working with your artist.
Yeah.
You have to work with your artist. I think you have to be flexible as a customer. because the artist is the expert. Obviously, you have to be comfortable with that artist.
Yeah.
I like your hair.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
So cool. I like that question.
Yeah, I'm not intimidated. This artist is just don't do cover-ups. That's why I'm guessing that's why they ask, because a lot of artists are like, yeah, we're not doing that.
For tattoo artist, how does she feel about blackout tattoos that is trending? And this comes from CB.
And it comes from what?
CB. That's the
Oh,
handle.
got it. I don't know. It's. I think I don't really care much about it. Because trends tend to be just trends, and it's black. You can't go back, after that. But I have seen some creative work where people black out and leave negative space in a design. And I think that's super cool because you'll see like people have like color work and they have old school work. They'll black out like a chunk, but then there's a flow in between it, and there's a design like a flower like inside, and you can still see that peek through. I think that one's cool.
That's one that I've seen that specifically, and I'm like, that's fucking
that's
dope.
clever. But if it's all black, like, I mean, are you trying to be
like, okay, cool. Like, I'll do it for you, but
yeah.
Any type of comes from El Cantarito 94. Any type of tattoo they will not do.
I don't. Polynesian. I've tried it, but I've said it. I've said this before, and I went into a Polynesian tattoo shop. I said I won't do Polynesian work because I don't understand it. That's cultural work. Like each design means and represents something, and there's certain designs that aren't supposed to be placed next to each other for a reason because it has obviously meaning. So I won't disrespect the culture by creating something that I don't understand and doesn't have meaning towards me, Now I would go even if you're not a Polynesian, or you're not Hawaiian, Samoan, Fijian, or any of the Polynesian islanders. Just because you're not one of them doesn't mean that you can't have a Polynesian work. There's just certain types like pe'a or a malu, which is one for women and one for men. Those are traditional. You have to get the okay and the blessing from the families on the islands in order for you to receive those tattoos. So that's something that I probably wouldn't. Obviously, I'm not gonna do. But we're talking about Polynesian work. I really wouldn't unless maybe one of the artists is there with me helping me out. But other than that,
let's go.
Vámonos.
A huevo. And then second question from El Cantarito 94 is, what are your thoughts on people getting name tattoos?
Yeah. They always say it's a taboo to get name tattoos. I get my daughter's name, so I mean, those are not going
away.
They're not going away. However, we don't, even if you want to get rid of those motherfuckers. Just kidding. But like significant others, I noticed that they say it's taboo, and then something happens, and I kind of believe in that. Partially, and then also that theory, but also the fact that people, I feel like they have a rocky relationship, and then they get to that point where like no, it's gonna work.
Babe.
No,
I'm gonna be name tattooed on me.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, it's like as a last resort, like, and that's why they get it. And then obviously it's not gonna fucking work out because they're fucking working on each other. They're not doing anything different other than getting that tattoo. And then they come back and they're like, can you get it covered? Which I've had several. I've had people come in, they get their names, and then like a month later, can you cover it? I'm like, you stupid.
Yeah, kids. Okay.
Yes.
Partner. Unless you've been married, maybe.
Nope.
Tampoco.
No. Honestly, I feel like if I speak on something, like if I say like, hey, even speaking on it, like, hey, you've been such a good friend. Like I treasure you, and I'll say it like, hey, we can see eye to eye. But when you kind of say it, then for some reason I feel like something fucks it up. So I like if I love someone, or like, I'm just like, you'll know, but I won't say it because I feel like it's gonna get fucked up, somewhere down the line. I swear. I've noticed that most of the time when I speak on something, it gets fucked up. So I was just like, all right, I'm just not gonna say it. You're just gonna know it, but I'm not gonna say it.
I'm gonna show you how I feel about you,
Okay,
rather than say it.
Oh yeah. Oh, what is how many? Is it five?
I think
4?
Well, I don't know. I'm fucking dumb, but I would say
No, you're not. Stop.
I think it's 4.
I think that's more, no?
Of love languages,
or maybe yeah. Or maybe it's just me because I'm
I got
special.
a lot of love languages.
I know, because I'm special. I want them all. I want them all. But.
Yeah, acts of kindness, acts of service, touchy, and I know it's not touchy, but there's a fourth one. I don't know what it is.
So it's visual, audio, and then gifts. Did you say gifts?
Yeah, acts of service.
No, acts of service is different.
No, acts of kindness.
Gifting.
Gifting. No, that's the other one, maybe. Yeah. Cool. Mine, everybody knows I like touchy. Yours? Pick one.
I'm audio, touchy.
Touchy. Okay. Love it. We're gonna title this "The Touchy Tattoo Artist." No. This one's from Loops.
Wait, are you getting my client? Are those all my people?
No, this is from Instagram and TikTok. How do you feel about doing portraits?
Oh my God, I love portraits. I do them all day. If I could do some for free, I'll do them. Because I want to do them. If I can do one every day, I would do one every day. And I'll put.
What's so special about a portrait tattoo?
Okay, so because it's the hardest. A lot of people don't dare to do it. And the first portrait, I think it was Emilio Zapata. I think I did. And I liked it. And I was like, all right, cool, let's go for it. And then other artists were like, my mentor was like, not a lot of people are down for it. And I'm like, all right, cool, then I'm gonna run with it, and I did. So what I like about it now, unfortunately, a lot of people get obviously they get portraits of people who passed. When you come in and someone says they passed and they're getting their tattoo, oh my God, that to me is like, I appreciate those more, only because I'm sitting there, I'm listening to the person. I like ask if they want to, they can talk to me about it, their life, and I feel like I want to be like you in a sense. I mean, because I don't know if that's what you're able to channel in people who are near them that passed, and you can see, because people are able to see that, right? Like, I want to believe that I'm sitting there and sending them a message for them and telling them like, hey, he's right there, like, he's gonna, you probably lost him in person, but you gained a spirit. And I think that's even stronger and better, because you'll notice that he's going to guide you through, even though you're not even noticing, and you're like moving towards a direction that you don't want to be in. He or she is going to push you towards the direction that you're going to need to be in. And then you're not going to see it till later how it's going to unravel. And it's them, your family members, they're backing you up through it, So when I do portraits, I like to think that I'm feeling them in spirit.
I love that. Yeah, I got portraits. I love portraits.
Yeah,
they mean a lot. Yeah,
and I want to do my mom's too, and before she passes away.
Well, the thing about portraits too is that you easily recognize when someone fucks up, because like the person.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's say, again, it's a certain person. Like, wait, that's not how my mom looks.
Yeah.
Like it can't be like, oh, there's a little squiggly line that went this one way, and you can kind of shade and then a little bit make it look. It's like
teeth,
you fuck up a
the
portrait.
nose, the eyes, everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, it's such a challenge.
It is, portraits. And I fucking love it.
And where can people follow you? I know there's a TikTok. I know there's an Instagram. So where can people follow you?
So I think the best way to contact me is through Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
What's your
Instagram,
Instagram?
so it's J Coca, so it's JCOCA, and it's not because I do the coca, it's because that's my last name for real, for real. It was like, it'd be like, I thought that's because I'm like, no,
Yeah, we're doing fat ass rat tails and let's go.
yeah, never mind. But no, that's my last name. So, anyways,
This, oh no, that's just no, I'm
oh,
kidding.
I just snipped it right before you even opened. So it's at jcoca_tattoos.
Cool.
Spelled correctly.
Anything, last thoughts? Anything that I didn't ask you that you want to talk about or share? Words of encouragement, words of bullying,
Oh God.
compliments you want to
Honestly,
give me.
oh yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
So as far as bullying, as far as it's so hard. I think it's really important. It's so hard to be nice to someone who is fucking mean to you, fucked up, disrespected you, and just sit there. And then because maybe that person's still gonna continue to be that, even if you kind of change it around. But just know they're fucking hurting, so just be understanding on that and be nice to them. And I've noticed that there's people who had so much hate, and I don't even know why they had so much hate towards me. They didn't even have a reason why, to be honest. Probably I think one of them was jealousy, the other one was jealousy. Okay, so it's jealousy. I don't know, I don't have that bone in my body. I don't understand what jealousy is like, so I one time changed it. I remember I was mean to someone, and because they were being mean to me, and I said, they're like, you know what, girl, like, I'm so sorry, like, that's not, you have this, you have that, you're beautiful. Like, I complimented them, like, there's no reason why we have issues or beef. Like, I really have respect for you for this or that. I'm like, I don't know why we're here, and like that weight and just off your shoulders is like you'll feel different. And I think I hopefully it makes someone's day, including yours, when you change it up. Well, that's including bullying, talking about bullying. But anything else, I don't know. Do you have any other questions?
I mean, we can keep
I
talking
think I
for fucking hours.
I spoke a lot.
That's okay.
I talk a lot.
It's your show.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming to hang out with me.
No, dude, it's fun.
Yeah.
Sweetest person, calm voice. I was so stressed earlier, and then he just like, oh no, you're good. I'm just like, oh, okay. That made a big difference. The voice makes a big difference.
I'm glad. I had fun.
Same.
And we'll do the shabu shabu.
And
hold on.
shabu, short arms.
That was shabu, and then the other Gava. Go give her a follow, guys. Slide into her DMs with nice comments. Yeah.
Were we live?
This whole time, yeah. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
You're like, what the fuck?
No, I just cried in front of everybody.
No, I would not do that to you.
Wait, how did you? I'm tripping out how you got like all these people asking. Like,
I was doing it live. I was doing it live earlier.
Really?
Yeah, when I was putting all this stuff together, I was doing it live. See, how do they feel about doing portraits?
Oh. There's a friend that has a Lupe. Her name is Loopy Loops, and I was like, wait, is that her? But it's not her.
It's not Darito.
Oh, okay, I don't know that person.
Yeah, so they just while I was doing my live, I was telling them about you.
Oh.
And then I'm like, ask me questions, and then I was reading them, and then I was like, okay, you send me that question in my DM. Like, you send me that question in my DM. You
were doing that while we were talking this whole time?
No.
Or earlier? I'm so confused.
I was doing that like
earlier today?
Yeah, when I was setting up all the stuff for you.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was cool.
Okay, we're okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was I haven't done this in like I think like 3 or 4 years. Last time I did a podcast.
Really?
It was like November too, because we're coming from Vegas, flying right here in Vegas, and then straight to
The podcast.
It was Long Beach.
I hope it was alright.
No, it was fun. It was good. It was gratifying. And yeah. I felt like it was weird as it sounds. I felt like this weird shit that happened to me yesterday kind of like humbled me. And it humbled me for today.
What, the messages?
Yeah, but those messages kind of like really had me think about a lot of the shit, you know? And I was like, okay, then that makes sense. Because sometimes I can have like this hard like persona, you know, like, and I kind of stay in that persona. But no, I think that happened. It was weird. As weird as it sounds, like I told you, I've never had anybody like send me messages like that ever. So I thought it was really weird how it happened and how the first the one from the one before happened and how it made me change the way I responded to the next one person that I felt like needed it the most. You know?
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. I don't go fuck. I mean, me, right? I've gotten so many bad messages or comments. And at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, like it doesn't bother. Like why?
Why do you think it bothers me?
But in the thing past, it used to.
Me?
No, I'm saying me.
Oh, okay. You don't know me. You don't pay my bills. And you're just some random stranger talking shit. Like, you think that really fucking hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
And so then sometimes I'll respond. I will, dude. I think I know. Well, I know I'm witty. I know I'm smart. I know I'm funny.
Witty and funny are the same thing, no? No. Like clever. What do you mean, like clever?
Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit smarter remark than just funny.
Oh, got it. That makes sense.
So, yeah, so sometimes when I will, people would say clap back. I try to clap back with a joke, with funny sarcasm. Never as a dick. Never as a dick. I try not to. I'm like, I don't think I've ever have. Really, not mean. Because I'm just like, dude, what's wrong with these people? Like, I don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
Come at me in the street like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
See me walking and tell me what you just told me. Like, no one has the balls to do that.
Yeah. Because everybody's just, it's so easy. Like, even behind a car, like, people all of a sudden become, like, super ballsy. You know? And then because you're inside a car, but then if you're outside, you wouldn't be that ballsy.
You wouldn't be that ballsy. And then the other thing, too, it's like, I certainly don't want to have conflict. Like, I'm not that kid anymore. Right? Like,
oh, you used to be?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. All day long. I love that shit.
Who bullied you?
A lot of different kids.
So a lot of people, but so because you were bullied, you became like.
I think it has to do with multiple things. To me, it's like I'm the firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
Like you met up. I was born in another country. You come to this country. I don't know anything. Don't know the language. Kids bully you.
How old were you?
I was 5.
Oh, you were little.
Yeah.
But you're, old enough to start in the right timing, but.
Yeah. But again, it was more or less like part of what I talked with Diego about. It's like it's in my demeanor to hang out with older kids, to start talking. Like part of my cognitive abilities allowed me to speak sooner. Like I always grew up quicker.
Yeah.
And you grow up quicker. You grow up with older boys.
Yeah.
Right. So I was a 5-year-old running around with like 10-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and so. What did 10 and 13-year-olds do to the fucking little 5-year-old?
Oh, yeah. Pick on them.
Exactly. And I was right there fucking next to them. And then when I was funny, I was talking to a friend who's going to do remember the party crew scene?
Yeah, back in the day. How, if you don't mind me, how old are you?
You have to guess.
Oh, God, don't tell me that. I'm bad. I feel like you're like within my age.
I'm older than that.
No, I know you are old enough.
I'm 40.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was talking to him, and I was telling him, I was like, dude, I was 13 hanging out with 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, even 30-year-olds, like in the party crew scene. And so, again, those guys, a little bullying, a little hazing, and then also a lot of protecting.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's how I grew up. I didn't grow up around kids my age. Like in high school, seniors would pick me up so that we would go get in fights. It's like, I remember wearing tux. But pick me up, just like they pull up in front of my house, be like, lace up. And it's like, lace up means like,
You're gonna get a fight.
we're going to do a bunch of hoodlum shit.
Yeah.
So that stayed in me. Plus how I grew up, plus just my personality. It's very like aggressive, or I don't think it's aggressive. I think it's
I don't
just
see you as aggressive. You're just outgoing. You're like you go for it. You run with it.
yeah. So, yeah. I know my brother Mike used to throw people in the trash can in high school. Literally, they would pick them up and just throw them, and you know, I would watch. So you could say I was bullying, but I'm just like, all right, pick that motherfucker, throw him in the trash can. You know, but then I remember there was a point my junior year where I think going into senior year, my mentality changed. And I was like, man, this is not I'm mean. Like, I'm kind of punking people. Like, This is not cool, man. I want to get along with everybody. And then I remember hanging out with, like, the blacks, the Asians, the Tongans, like, walking around high school. Like, I was a cool kid, but then I was an even cooler kid when I just got along with everybody. And I didn't have to fucking punk everybody.